Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Hands on SAP Dev with me, DJ Q Macro, for another episode of this live stream. This is just like a special Devtoberfest episode. You know, it feels a bit like a Halloween episode or a Christmas or a holiday episode. So yeah, I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. No real reason, really, to be honest. So good morning, Niels, and good morning, Santiago and Patrick. Howdy, good day to you too. I'm feeling quite pleased with myself because I've sort of solved, a very minor problem, but a problem nonetheless. Leo, good morning, Leo. Which was I make my coffee, ready for this, but of course, I want to be prepared, so I make coffee like quarter to or 10 to the hour, and I don't want the coffee to go cold. And then also I've got my my waffle, what's it called, my Stormtrooper waffle, and I put that on top to go soft, but then it goes too soft and falls into the coffee, and the coffee goes cold. So now, look at that fix. I've got the Stormtrooper waffle on a little saucer, very nice little saucer from one of my espresso cups, and the saucer is keeping the coffee warm. What a genius idea! I'm feeling quite pleased about that. So, oh yes, Halloween. Thank you, Niels, for the Halloween pumpkins. Is it Halloween yet? When is Halloween? End of this month. There we go. Henry, good morning, Henry. So, yeah, there's my coffee. I will have a bite of the subtly soft Stormtrooper waffle. I hope you're all okay. Thank you so much for joining. Let me switch to the main scene. I thought I'd do like a little slightly transparent background to my Kitty terminal, and I've got the Devtoberfest, the transparent Devtoberfest logo as my screen background. I think it looks quite cool. The only reason I'm saying this is like a special Devtoberfest edition is because we're doing a live stream, Hands on SAP Dev live stream, in week one of Devtoberfest. Talking of week one of Devtoberfest, if you haven't already, I'm sure you all have. If you haven't already, let me go to here and just share that link. That's the home of Devtoberfest, the main page. Go here, have a look at this, learn about the whole event in Tom Young's blog post there. We've got the registration, which is super important. You can't accumulate points and win anything if you don't register. There's stuff about the gaming night, and we're sort of coming towards the end of week one. We've had a welcome to Devtoberfest week one. We had a great launch party with Thomas Grassel hosting Jürgen Müller, member of the executive board and Chief Technology Officer. That title now is, rolls off my fingers because I've typed it quite a few times. It's quite cool. So that was awesome to have Jürgen on, and of course Thomas as well. And later today, this evening my time, there's a virtual tour. There's an exhibition at the Computer History Museum. That's the one in California in Mountain View, I think it is. The one just down the road from Google's headquarters. Which is a brilliant place, CHM. So yeah, there's a live tour, or a virtual tour, and a live Q&A from one of the senior curators there, Dag Spicer. So there's Dag. Most of the things happening on Devtoberfest are all they're all sort of live streams on YouTube. So there's that. So you get a link to there. Talking of YouTube, what we've done is just added the Devtoberfest playlist. So you can see various videos, obviously the ones saying live and upcoming, and the ones with the times on there, 45, 37, 2:38. Those are already broadcast, but of course you can watch the replay, right? So there's the launch party. You can watch the launch party, and Kevin, our man Kevin, look at that shot. He's done a little video. I think he's done a couple of little videos, one of which is this understanding the game, so about the points and the contest and how you can win points and whatever. Sounds really cool. So that's definitely something I would recommend you watch. And I've just published like a look back. We're going to do one of these every week. It was my turn to do it the first time this week because I sort of have been involved in organising next week's, which is the best practice week. So this is what went on. That's the thing about the virtual tour of the Computer History Museum, and this is what's upcoming. Now, talking of the upcoming, regulars on Hands on SAP Dev, where's week the best practices week. Talking of upcoming, we've got a challenge, and if you look at the challenge, you will see that it relates to some of the stuff we've been doing here. So you folks are at an advantage because you're awesome. So yeah, check that challenge out as well, and see if you're interested in having a bit of background reading before that, because you can't do the challenge until Wednesday, sort of lunchtime onwards. I wrote a blog post, gosh, wow, almost a year ago, just over a year ago. And that talks about the Google Shell Style Guide, it talks about shell check, and it talks about shfumt. So let me just share that as well. And yeah, have a read of that. It's hopefully a little bit of fun. And yeah, there we go. So that's that. Anything else do we need to talk about? No, I think that's cool. I've got a hard stop. In fact, I need to stop a little bit before the top of the hour because I've got a meeting that has just come in and I couldn't say no. So I've got a meeting at 9 o'clock my time. I need to prepare 5 minutes before. So we're just stopping a bit short. But yeah, this is a relaxed day today. So what I said we'd do, and what the title of this is, let's write a script together. I thought we don't want to go overboard with things, but I think it would be worth, let me know what you think, it would be worth just playing around with the process of how I write a script, just talking about the structure of the script. We'll use the BTP CLI, of course, because it's awesome. Oh yes, one thing I was talking to the BTP CLI team yesterday, who are awesome as well, and they wanted me, and I agree, they wanted me to sort of emphasize that, when, let's say you would do, I'm logged in, am I logged in? Yeah, I'm logged in. Of course I'm logged in, yeah. If I say BTP, I don't know, lists accounts available regions, okay, we get an output that looks like that, okay. In fact, we get an output that looks like that with the OK as well, right? But that, I've got a little wrapper script. Let me know if you want to see the wrapper script that gets rid of that OK. Anyway, we get an output like that, which looks very nice, and it's also very parsable. Parsing text output from Unix commands, is as old as old as time, and it's a completely normal thing to do. But with the advent of more structured data, we talked about this last time. We have the JSON output, so we can say, for example, format JSON, which we saw last week, right? There's the JSON output, and there's the OK again, which is all fine. The thing they wanted me to stress is that if you're going to be scripting with this, and if you're going to be pulling, and parsing information that comes out of the BTP CLI, you can definitely rely on the solidity of their JSON output. They may change what the non-JSON output looks like, what the text output looks like. So using the text output of BTP is going to make your sort of pipelines a little bit more brittle, because it may change, but the JSON is not going to change. They might change the order of the properties or something, but of course, because it's JSON and because you're going to be parsing JSON with a JSON parser, it doesn't matter. So there we go. That's that. Okay, so Santiago says, sounds great. Have challenges. Have challenges. I have many challenges. Santiago. So yeah, so let's just do a relaxed thing. What I thought we'd do, and I've been thinking about this a little bit this morning and last night as well. We'll do something really simple, and I want to use JQ a little bit, and I also want to use FZF or FZF if you're of the US persuasion. So just to combine things together, we'll do something read-only, really simple, something we can finish in an hour. So what I thought we'd do, if we have a look, in fact, let me log on to the right thing first. I can see down there that I'm logged onto my red, qmacro red there, account, but actually a BTP Go, I want to log on to my Hands on SB Dev account. There we go. Okay. So there we go. So we're logged on now to the hands-on SAP dev account, where we got the trial sub account, of course, and the My Dear directory. If you're interested, by the way, in these things that I'm running, like BTP Go, type BTP Go. You can see that's a function that clears the screen, runs BTP login, which is another script, which is a wrapper around the login script. Then I run the get accounts, global account show hierarchy, and I also set use the context BTP CTX. Basically goes and looks in my configuration file, we've seen this before, and spits out something that then I can put in my tmux status. Also, you can see I'm currently targeting only my global account, but I can of course say BTP target trial. This is another, sorry, not BTP, BGU. Give me the GUID of the BTP thing, target trial, and that will give me the GUID, but it will also now, it will in the background run BTP target sub account, blah, 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 right? So I'm now targeted the sub account. So that is also type BGU. That's also a function which runs BTP GUID, which is also there, and it's all that stuff is in here. So there's the BTP CTX thing, and there's the BTP GUID thing, which I think we looked at last week, didn't we? And there's the BTP login thing. So there we go. So there's that sort of, idea of I've got different accounts because I need different accounts to show different things to different people. Anyway, there. Right. So actually, given that, let's just reopen that thing again. Here's an example, right? Here's an example of a script. I'm going to make it a couple bigger, maybe that bigger there. In fact, yeah, let's look at it there. Doc files are awesome. Doc files are awesome, and I love the way that people can share the doc files. The whole sort of concept, the whole philosophy of doc files. Niels, I totally agree. I've learned a lot by looking at other people's doc files. You can see this is my preference, but it's a preference that I've picked up from learning from others and the Google Shell style guide, which I referred to in that blog post. I like to start with a shebang, with a hash bang, of course. So that the shell check knows in what context your script is supposed to run, and it can give you appropriate warnings and errors and informational messages, which I'm sure you've seen before. But I also like to structure it in a very specific way. And those of you who've done any sort of programming will recognize we've got some functions here. I mean, in Bash, some people like to call these sort of more subroutines because they're not really functions. They don't return a value. They can emit a value. They can capture. Anyway, let's not get into the rights and wrongs of whether a certain scripting language has certain features and what those features are called. I'll blow my nose. But it's great. Leo says it's great. I can spend hours fine tuning them. Yeah, Leo, you're absolutely right. I mean, I don't know how many. In fact, let's have a look. Let's go into my dot files here. 475 commits. Look at that. October the 1st, September the 30th, September the 29th, 27th, 24th, 15th. Tweak. But so I've got these different functions. Let's use the bash name, and there's also a main function. Okay, this is I've taken this idea from other people, and I think it's also mentioned in the Google Shell style guide. And so at the bottom, a little bit like anybody here programmed Python? It reminds me of that sort of Python if name equals main. Will Google find anything like that? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, if name equals main, right at the bottom. If name equals main, if you're running not in the context of having been loaded as a library, then do this thing, right? So that's this sort of thing here. Call the main function, which is this main function here, and pass it all the parameters that the script was passed. So we're going to take that approach as well, because it just makes me feel calmer. I know where things are. I can sort of start to think about how to delegate. Some stuff is getting a bit complicated. I'll put that in a separate function. So what I think we should do. So list. We've got here, I'm using, of course, the wonderful autocomplete feature of BTP, and we can sort of see that there's things, the stuff that you can list. You can list stuff relating to accounts, like environments, entitlements, regions, sub-accounts, whatever. You can list stuff relating to security, so users and roles and role collections and things like that, and to services, right? So let's just take. I wanted to find something that A was simple and B had more than one thing, so we can do a selection. Because I looked at, first of all, environment instance or whatever it was, and it was only schema for that particular thing. So it's like, no, let's just have a look. BTP's list security role collection, right? Role collection has got this stuff here, okay? And again, if you are wondering why that looks a bit nicer to what it would normally, I think it would normally look like that, which, and this is not specific to BTP, the BTP CLI, this is specific to any command that gives you lots of output and wide output. You know, the kubectl command does the same sort of thing, and CF as well. But I just don't like looking at that. This sort of, you know, hurts my eyes. So my BTP type BTP, you can see that's also a function. I wrap BTP, and if I'm doing a get or a list, a BTP get or a BTP list, then actually I run BTP. Well, actually I run a wrapper of BTP. That's another story. And I pass it whatever I've been passed, and then I pipe it into trunk, which is a script, which is just that, you know, and we've done this. Why is that? Quote this to prevent word splitting. There we go. That's quite good. Let's quote that. There we go. Let's sort that out. That was that shell check telling us, hey, hold on a minute. You know, I know that tput calls is only going to produce a single numeric value, so there's not going to be any danger of splitting. But you know, let's give shell check its due and, you know, give it what it wants. So there we go. There we go, Leo. There's a tweak, right? So git status. Oh, let's go into the dot files status. Oh god, I've tweaked lots of different things there, haven't I? Oh my goodness. Git add trunk scripts trunk. Git commit quote thank you shell check git push. There we go. There's another little tweak. Anyway, so what were we doing? Git add, there we go. Role collection. There we go. So I'm just piping into trunk, which will just cut the output according to how many columns there are visible in the terminal right now. So what we want to do is say, well, let's just list. I want to see what roles are in a role collection. Let's write a script to do that. So we've got role collections. We want to choose a role collection and then just see what roles are in there. So it's quite a useful little script. It's a tiny script. It's 8:18 already. So let's get going. Sorry, DJ. Sorry, folks. DJ, shut up and do things. So first of all, we can get a list that we can choose from. So I want to be able to see a list, choose a role collection like sub-account viewer or business application studio developer or whatever. And then there is also get BTP. Well, in fact, let's just do that, right? Let's delete that. Get security role collection. And that will say constraint violated. You must provide parameter. I always constraint violated. That's quite extreme, but I like that. You must provide parameter name. Okay, this is one of the things we looked at really early on. The parameters that you pass, often you get the first parameter, which is which you can supply without having an option name like parameter name. You just give it. So of course this is going to be the role collection you want to look at. So if we just list one there and say get security role collection sub account viewer. I don't know why my eyes always fall on that one. Sub-account viewer, and we get some information. We get the role references. We've got the role names, Cloud Connector Audit, Destination Viewer, Sub-account Service Auditor. So I want to see the list of roles that are in a role collection that I choose, right? So let's do that. So if we say list security role collection, let's do it. If we're going to parse this, let's do it properly, as it were, format JSON. And that gives us some JSON. So let's put that Role collection.json. That'll do. Now let's look at the JQ. Let's run JQ over it, pass it the identity function, which will just print out the. By the way, is that opacity too light? Let me just go out of there. Opacity 96. 90. Is that all right? Can you read that, folks? Can you read that with that in the background? It's quite cool with the Devtoberfest, but anyway, let's just attach dev. Go so back into the container. I just stopped Docker, and Docker engine, Docker desktop, whatever. So I could run OBS and not stress the laptop out as much. But of course, I'm running Docker here to connect to my dev container, which is running in my Synology. Anyway, so we got the JQ. So, and in fact, let's have a look at that role collect with FX, right? So we got that here. We got all these different things here. So there's a business application studio developer role references. We got those references. Oh, there's only one role in there. What about this one? Role references. There's only one role in there. Let's just have a look at all of them. Oh, there we go. That'll look. Sub-account administrator. That's a good one. We've got sub-account administrator role collection. Has got these different things here. So that's what we want to do. So if we say new script, which will just create a file, make it executable, and put the hashbang new script list roles. List roles, I'll do. All that's done is created a file called list roles, made it executable, and put the hashbang at the top. We could have a debate about the different types of hashbang, whether to use an absolute path to bash or use this env approach. A lot of people rant on about how this is really bad doing this way and it's really insecure. That's absolute nonsense. But that's a story for another time. So if we say let's just maybe do main, define a function. There we go, and then call it like that. That's sort of our skeleton, right? Now, shell check is saying, whoa, what's going on here? Main, the mentioned syntax, you can see the thing at the bottom here, the mentioned syntax error was in this function, and it says, couldn't parse this brace group, fixed to allow more checks, and it's basically saying you can't have a function with nothing in it. So I'm going to use the no operation bash thing to say, right, do nothing. Okay, so there we go. In fact, let's say list, what's it called? List roles. And just every time, basically I'm saying every time that changes, run it. Every time this script, the contents of this script changes, just run it and clear the screen before you run it. So there we go, it's doing nothing. So if I say here, echo dev, oops, I can't even type, Devtoberfest, save, print out Devtoberfest. Okay, that's cool. So we can do that. So now, why don't we say, get role collections. Let's define a function that's going to say BTP list security. Oh no, we want this JSON, don't we? List format. Well, let's do this one bit at a time. For lists role, no, security role collection. Okay, save that, but we're not calling that, so let's just call that now. Get role collections, save that, and it runs it. That's quite cool. Now, what we want though is what do we want? We want to pipe that into JQ, don't we? Oh, tell you what, actually, we've got this role collections file, right? Role collections. Where is it? Did we not create a file? What's going on? Where was that file? Oh well, BTP list security role. Was I in a different directory maybe? I don't know. Role collection. Is that okay, that's fine. But we'll have format JSON, and let's put it into role. I'm sure I could role collections. I'm sure I created a file called role collections. Oh well. there we are, role collections. Now, we can have a look at it like this, or I've got another thing in my dot files, which is like a JQ playground. Give it a file name, and this will use tmux to sort of explore this. So we've got on the right-hand side here, we've got the source. This is the role collection file. On the bottom left, we've got like a JQ expression editor, which is the Vim session. And the expression right now is identity. And then we've got the output of what the expression returns. So we can go in here and say all of the things, but just the name. There we go. So there's the name. There's the name. And we could say all of the things, description. There we go. Fine. So we can see here that we've got all the names. These are all the names we want. So we want, and the output from list security account role collection is an array. You can see that at the top here with this open square bracket. It's an array. It's an array of objects, and each object has a number of properties, one of which is name. So let's grab the name from the array. There we go. So we want to do that. So let's go back in here then. And where are we? Where are we? Have we got one too many? There we go. That'll do. There we go. Fine. Okay. There. So we'll say like that. Dot name. Format. JSON. What I like to do as well is do it on different lines, right? There we go. That's nice. And then pipe that into there. How's that? How's that? Do we have that? Let's save that. There we go. But we also want, of course, to remove that OK, that new line and OK here. So let's do that. There we go. And we also want the raw output. JSON by default, as we said last week, I think, will try and spit out JSON wherever possible, or chunks of JSON. And I think we stated that a string, a double quoted delimited string is a valid JSON object, document, whatever you want to call it. So if we use the -r for raw, just give us the raw thing. So there is our nice list of role collections. That'll do. So we can now say get role collections, which is quite nice. In fact, rather than hammer the BTP CLI and the endpoint each time, why don't we say, let's just comment out that for a second and just say, and this is not, well, I suppose it is a useless use of cat, but home role collections.json, that file that we created, we just cat that out and then JQ that. What's going on there? Useless cats. There we go. Useless cats. That's fine, but we want to keep that sort of pipe here and then get rid of this. So let's just do that. Useless use of cat. There we go. Fine. So it's a little bit quicker, and we're not hammering the BTP backend. Okay, so we'll do that. Get rid of that one there. We want to get the role collections, and we want to pipe it into fzf, right? fzf. Now it's sort of getting interactive. We can't really use this entr anymore. So there we go. Look at that. Let's just kill that. List roles. That will run the get role collections, get the output, and pipe it into fzf. So we can now start to administrator or cloud or whatever. What is it? Sub account. So we can start to select something. Okay. So we can see here. Can you see that back? You can see that behind my head, can't you? I'm just looking at the live stream. Yes, you can see that. And what fzf will do by default, I mean, we could also say here, let's just run that over here. fzf, is it reverse? I can't remember. List roles, it will put it at the top. Let's use it at the top for now. It will sort of put the selection thing at the top of the screen rather than the bottom, reverse sort of thing. So we can say sub account, whatever. Right, now when you select one, and fzf will also allow you to select multiple ones, but by default, it will allow you only to select one, which is what we want here. So let's say, I'll go for the sub account administrator. When you press enter, fzf behaves beautifully as a good Unix command line citizen, and all it will do is spit out the value of what you selected, which you can then pipe into or continue to use in the pipeline further down the line. So we've used fzf to select one of the role collections. So now we've got a role collection. We can see here, let's just zoom in on that screen for a second. We can see, if we say BTP get rather than list, what can we get? We can get a security role collection, but we've got to provide the name like we saw. Get role collection, what was it? List roles. Oh yeah, sub account, I don't know, what was the one with multiple roles? Sub account administrator. There we go. So if we say BTP get security role collection sub account administrator, the reason I'm putting in quotes obviously is because if I weren't to put that in quotes, then the word splitting in bash that processes the stuff that you supply and then sends the process stuff to the command BTP, then it would say we're giving two parameters to BTP get security role collection. So we need to put it in quotes because it's obviously just a single thing, a single value. It should, I suppose we could put, there we go, that works, but let's just go back. I suppose we could escape the space. Will that work? Yeah, there we go, same thing. Right, anyway, we've got that, so we can do a get security role collection, which gives us the information about the roles in that role collection. Yeah. But of course, we want to have a more permanent, a more reliable data structure that we can parse. So we'll ask for JSON. Let's do that. There we go. We get a similar thing. Let's have a quick look. Let's pipe that into FX just to sort of browse it. Right. We can see that we've got the role collection name. We've got the role collection description. We've got a sort of a Boolean property here is read only. But we've got the role references here, and there's one role reference, 2, 3, etc. Right. So we want the names effectively of the roles in this role collection. So how do we do that? Anybody care to offer a bit of JQ to do that? In fact, let's explore. Let's stick. Excuse me. Let's stick. Don't speak with your mouth full, DJ. This in to a file called subaccount administrator. And now let's explore that jqte subaccount admin. In fact, so let's open a new window here, jqte subaccount administrator. We can see here that we've got we've got an object. The outermost element, the outermost bit of syntax is a curly brace. Is curly brace tautological? Brace? Curly brace? Anyway, we've got a curly brace, which means that we have to sort of start with not an array dot open square brackets, close square brackets in JQ, but we can say, for example, dot name. What we're going to get there? Subaccount administrator, which is that thing there. Or description, administrative access to the subaccount. Or there's the is read only. How's that? What's that look like? No, not L. Is read only. So let's say is read only true, right? Interestingly, JQ is still trying to spit out valid JSON, and true is as a Boolean, an unquoted string Boolean is valid JSON, right? Interesting. So that's that. But what if we wanted the, what are they called? The role references. We'd need to say role references. And that will give us an array. Okay, you can see that's the pure array. We can even pipe that into length. We get 5. Okay, this is JQ length. We could even say, well, no, let's not even go there. So what we want though is we want role references and pipe that into name. But we can't do that because it's an array. So we say like that. But actually, the shorthand for that in JQ is that. We can, just specify that. So there is a list of roles for that particular role collection. I think it makes more sense either to have it like that, so it's like attached, or if you have a space, do the full syntax, pipe the output of the reference to the role references array, and pipe that, then feed that in and grab the name from that pipe fed thing. So let's do it like longhand. So where are we? Let's go back to here. We don't need that. Oh, do we? I can't remember. There we go. Let's unzoom that. There, fine. So we get the role collections, pipe that into. Why is that? Give me a syntax error now. Delete trailing spaces. Oh, there we go. Fine. I just some trim some. Yeah, there we go. You can't have trailing spaces after you escape the new line. Okay, in a bash script. So let's, and I've got the, if you have a look at this thing here, my Vim configuration, I've got where is it? Where is it? Linting and formatting. What's going on? Shell check YAML lint ALF. Oh, I've turned it off. Why is it working then? Unless I've got another linter somewhere. Anyway, all right, let's not go there. I've got something to remove trailing spaces and trim white space. Let's turn that back on again. Save that. Quit out of that. Source the thing here. Save that. There we go. Remove. Ah, yeah, that's what that does. If I've got some spaces here at the end of the file, for example, and save it, it'll remove them. There we go. Right, so get role collection, pipe it into FZF, right? Let's just remind ourselves of what that does. List roles, we go and choose one, and we get the phrase, sub-account administrator. So now, what we could do is just pipe that into, oh yeah, okay. So, well, we could do one of two things, couldn't we? What time is it? 8:38. Yeah, we could do one of two things. By the way, folks, you're very quiet today. Are you all watching the replay of the launch party, which I wouldn't blame you at all? There's different ways we can do this. So many different ways. Right, let's get rid of that for a second. We could even say select role collection, right? Select role collection, and that pipe it into FZF, and that would just give us select role collections. If we run that now, we, cloud connection, bang, and it would print it out. So that's quite nice. Select role collection. Oh, well, we need to be singular, don't we, really? There, singular. So we could say local role collection equals the result of running the select role collection function. Now, there's debate online as to whether this is the best way to, run something and capture the output, run a function and capture the output. This spawns a subshell and runs the select role collection in the subshell. But to be honest, that's fine for me. I'm happy with that. They are making tutorials. Who's Santiago? Who's making tutorials? I'd love to know. So yeah, we'll capture that, and then we can say echo you chose role collection, right? Just to see what happens, right? There we go. Role collection, local role collection. Why is that saying? What's that? What's it saying? Declare and oh yes, there we go. Let's just zoom that in. What it's saying here is declare and assign separately to avoid masking return values. Yeah. So if the select role collection failed for whatever reason, we don't want that. So local roll collection, let's duplicate that. Roll collection equals that. There, that's better. So shell check is not complaining because, you know, that might go wrong, and we might sort of hide the fact that it's gone wrong and roll collection is empty, and then, well, you know. So let's run that and run that again, and let's just pick one. You chose sub-account administrator. That's cool. Okay, fine. So now, what do we want to do? We want to, let's have another function. List roles of roll collection. What a horrible name. But anyway, list roles of roll collection. That's complaining about, you know, there we go. That's the structure. Fine. So now we could say local. I was thinking of the shorthand for roll collection RC, but that's often used as return code. I don't want to do that. Yes, they're doing the tutorials to make the points for the Devtoberfest, Santiago. Yes, go and do the tutorials and go and earn some points, but also listen to this. Let me know if it's useful. I don't know. So local roll collection equals $1. Okay, so $1 is whatever's the first parameter that's passed to this function, right? So if we say here, list roles, let's just do that, roll collection, and I can say here echo in the list function with roll collection. Let's list roles, destination administrator, in the list function with destination administrator. So we can see how this is passed through. Okay, so we got that, oops, we've got that thing here, roll collection, local roll collection equals get select roll collection. This is feeling a little bit sort of Java-y now. It's so verbose and horrible. But you know, that's fine for now. So we're in there. Now we can say BTP, what is it? Get security roll collection, right? Run that, list roles, we'll select one. Bang, done. Okay, so there's the raw output. There's the sort of the non-JSON output. But what we want, of course, is the JSON output. So what we want to do is to say here, format. Yeah, let's have that. Again, I like it sort of split, right? Format JSON get security role collection, and then pipe that into fzf. Whoops. What's going on with my keyboard? My key fingers. Oh my goodness. fzf. Now, let's go across to here. What's that one? That's the role collections, but we want the role references, don't we? There we go. There's our little playground. Cool. Aha, Santiago, brilliant. You're taking some ideas and passing them to PowerShell. Good. Yes, we're all friends in the shell world. You can use fzf in the PowerShell, I guess, and JQ, right? So yeah, this translates very nicely. So this is what we want to do. We want to grab the values of the name properties inside each of the items of the role references array. Okay, so fzf. Let's put that into a thing. I'm never sure. Yeah, let's role references dot. In fact, if we have that, then we don't need to have quotes. There we go. How's that? Not fzf. Sorry, what I'm talking about. JQ raw. There we go. Will that work? List roles. And of course, I'm going to remove the cat and put back the BTP, but let's just select sub-account administrator. There we go. In fact, again, we need to get rid of that OK, the new line and the OK. That's going to standard error. Yeah. we'll talk about another time. There we go. So let's just make that. There we go. That's nice. We can see it all in one line now. And let's just get rid of those. There, that's nice. Oh yeah, we want to get rid of the cats. There we go. There, I think that's right, isn't it? What was the cat? Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, we also want to get the two dev. I put the there we go, dev null there, right? And that's it. So now let's try it. List roles. There we go. So we get a little bit of a. Let's just do that in full screen. There we go. Let's do that again. List roles. Go and get the role collections. I'm going to say, I don't know, Studio Administrator, Business Application Studio Administrator. And there's only one role, Administrator, which is quite interesting. Oh, I wonder if we could say. Anyway, well, yeah. The administrator, let's have a look. Role references. Which one is it? Role references, role template. We've got the name and we've got a role template name. Oh, we don't have. Oh, we don't. Oh, okay. I thought we might have a description for each role. I suppose you can get the description if you do another BTP command. No, let's not go there for now. Can you tell I'm sort of making this up? So list roles, let's choose one that we know has got a bit more interesting detail. Sub account administrator. There we go. We can see the roles for the sub account administrator. You know, we could make it a little bit nicer and say, you know, these are the roles for the. But that's more or less it, right? Did that make sense? You can see how easily BTP CLI lends itself to giving you access to stuff that's in BTP, on the Business Technology Platform, on the command line, where you work. And not only just where you work, but also you can feed that into something else, right? In fact, you've got here the role template app ID. You might want the app ID as well. So let's go for, what's going on here? Yeah, so let's have role references, and then we want to have, so name. Do I want that? Do I want that? Yes, and then I want to pipe it into a sort of a tab separated value thing, right? But I also want, this is JQ now, I also want the role role template app ID. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. We can see here now, we're saying, well, we want stuff from this array, and the stuff we want is an array of two things. We want the name property and the role template app ID property. But we want that array to then turn into a tab separated value thing. And there's the tabs there. Tab, 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 tab. So that the output looks nice and is parsable in a downstream pipeline in Unix. So let's try that. Where are we? Select role collection, list roles of role collection, JQ role references. Yeah, there we go. Role references. Let's put that now in. There we go. Name and what was it called? What was it called? Role template app ID. Role template app ID, and pipe that into the tab separator value function of JQ. Okay, will that work? Let's see. Let's just have that that way instead, so we can sort of see what we're doing there, but see the full width of the screen. List roles. Also, let's just have it in reverse, right? Or not in reverse. Which one was it? FZF reverse. List roles. Go and get the roles. Sub account administrator. There we go. Now, that seems quite a little bit uglier than what we had before, which is just the list of role names: Cloud Connector Administrator, Destination Administrator, Sub Account Administrator, and so on. However, Now, this is completely beautifully compatible with various other sort of standard Unix command line tools like cut, give me the second field. So we'll select something, subaccount administrator again, and we get a second field, which is the name of the app ID, template app ID. So this is where you have to think about, or it's advantageous, in my opinion, to think about how BTP CLI fits into your sort of, command line environment, but also what you do with it and how you then produce stuff that fits into your command line environment for further consumption. Okay. Anyway, that was all I wanted to show. I didn't want to sort of go completely overboard and spend like hours and hours writing a script and talking about it, but let's just have a quick look. Let's make that a little bit smaller. I think we can see everything, can't we? Oh, almost everything. That's how I write scripts. I like to divide things up. Use the tools available to me, and so when I see a script like this, I know where to go, what's happening, what to do. I suppose I could even. I wonder. List roll. Yes, what we could do next. Here's an exercise for you, because I've got to go in a minute. Here's an exercise for you. Notice here that I'm passing any parameters that I get in the list roll collections when I invoke it. So if I say list rolls of banana, the banana is going to get ignored. So what if I said list rolls of subaccount administrator, like that, right? It's still going to go into the and list the roll collections, let me select one. So what you want to do as a little exercise is say, well, if I've passed a thing, go and see if that really is a roll collection and use that as the thing rather than go and ask the person to select one from the list. Oh yeah, the other thing, what we could do, instead of having a variable here, roll collection, capturing the output of select roll collection into the variable, we could say instead, let's just comment that out, select roll collection, and then pipe that into xargs, which will form, I think, shell functions can't be passed to external commands. What? Select roll collection. What? Shell functions can't be passed to external commands. Oh, of course. Yeah, what I need to do is split out this, again, embrace the Unix philosophy and have a separate script to list the roll collections given a thing. Yes, of course, you can't call a function with xargs, you've got to call a script. But anyway, it's 8:50. Can we do that now? Quick, can we do that now? Let's say copy list roles to list roles of collection. List roles in collection. Let's do that, right? List roles in collection. V list roles in collection. I hate these names. Let's just go with that and let's just do a really simple thing. Roll collection equals that. There we go. Roll collection equals $1. What have we passed? Let's just do it properly. Declare. There we go. Roll collection. List roles in collection, right? So now, oh no, will this work? List roles in collection. Okay. So now we could say, what's it called? List roles. Choose a role. Subaccount administrator. List role. Ah, wait. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. The list roles. List roles in collection. Subaccount administrator. xargs. Oh well, I've got to go. I don't know what's going on there. I'm sure I'll figure it out as soon as I end the live stream. select role collection. Am I doing that? Select role collection, xargs. Tell you what we'll do, xargs echo. Let's do that first of all. Have I got something wrong there? Niels, DJ and chat, yep, have a nice one. This rolls. Oh, one more. Oh well, yep, we'll sort it out next time. Okay, cool. I've got to go. Niels, thank you for joining. Everybody, thank you for joining. Bit of a weird one today, but it was nice to hang out, wasn't it? So I will see you next week for Devtoberfest Week 2, best practices. Check out everything on the Devtoberfest home, which is the GitHub repo, and I will see you soon.